That's okay. We've got some announcements and ways that you can stay connected.
We're casting for another
What's up?
series called Elite. We want to challenge
I'm about to
you
roll
to
up.
connect and
I'm
reach
about to
us.
roll up real
It could be a
quick.
family member that you had a falling out with, or
In the
you
meantime,
need to ask for forgiveness. If you're
enjoy this
interested,
video.
sign up in the link below.
I think it's very informative. Not this part so much. Let's just fast forward through this part. That's some bullshit. Let's get to the introductions. Hello.
To be honest, when I heard of Satanists, my first reaction was something that does not align with my core beliefs.
I think of like a lot of darkness and evil and lostness.
If I turn it this way.
When I think of Abrahamic faith, I think of slaughterings and burnings and mutilations, all of
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna
name
leave
of
it like
God.
that.
To myself, I don't actually have a.
They don't want me to leave it this way. I guess I gotta rotate it. I don't know.
For a Satanist shape on is what's whispering in your ear in a sense of trying to lead you away
Son of a
from God.
bitch. I'll leave it
A
there.
little bit more about the Temple of Satan. What is that?
One of the things I like about it personally is that they are actively fighting to make sure that every religion has a chance to have a say right now in this country.
I'm approaching this with a spirit of curiosity, love to ask questions and hear more about the perspectives of the people that I'm going to be talking to.
And as for the major religions, I hope to understand why they stayed within their religion if they were born into it, or I hope to understand how they justify their beliefs.
We brought 6 strangers together to spark a dialogue about the devil, religion, and other shit.
Hey, my name's Sean Gendel. I'm a Presbyterian pastor. I'm married to my wife Kelly, and we have 3 children.
I'm Amr Isa. I'm 19 years old. I'm Muslim. I was born and raised in a Muslim household. Muslim my whole life is a big part of who I am.
My name is Jason Turgeon. I'm 33. I'm a Satanist.
Jason!
I was
Ow!
Christian and have somewhat recently converted.
My name is Rajni.
Yeah, you did, Stella. Yes, you did.
And I moved here for grad school, and currently I'm a director at Jubilee Media, and I'm Hindu.
She work
I'm
here.
Lois. I'm 23.
Lois!
And I'm a Satanist.
Yeah!
I'm raised Jewish.
My name is Richard Lano.
Richard!
I'm older than I like to tell people. I'm a Satanist. I was raised Christian, but I am a Satanist.
I get my Satanists back there on the left, and members of major religions on the right. Hell is a real place.
Not at all. If hell's a real place, we already there.
I don't actually know, like, when I try to think of what hell looks like to me, I don't think it's how it's been in movies or people just talk about, like, some fiery inferno.
I feel like I'm
I believe in
reacting,
an afterlife where there is a kind of a good place and a bad place.
but I really want you to
What
see
you do
this.
here kind of determines where you're going to end up.
Yeah, one of the signs that there is something greater than us out there is that we see something beautiful that we want someone to express our thanksgiving to and our worship towards. And in the same way, on the opposite end of the spectrum, when there are terrible deeds or acts that are committed by humans towards one another, that there also needs to be a place of justice. And so I believe that there is a heaven and that there is a hell, and that the gift of grace that God offers us is so generous that for those who reject it, that there has to be a place of judgment. So yeah.
Well, fuck you. Why we gotta be judged? Just because we don't agree. The fuck?
Personally, I would never worship a god. They would send someone to an eternal lake of fire to be burned forever for the simple fact of non-belief, when that deity knows what it would take to convince every single person on this planet. That is cruel, it is inhumane, it is not kind, it is not generous, and that is not a god worthy of worship.
Ow! Hell Satan!
More, it would be damning the vast majority of everyone who's ever existed for not believing in him for a set of rules that he created.
To be fair, I feel like this presupposes that to burn in hell means that you don't believe in God. I'm sure that there are religions, and I know that there are people who believe that hell is a place for murderers, you know. And when I was Jewish, we didn't believe in hell. They didn't even talk about the devil. I just kind of came upon it myself. I believe that in the event that we have spirits and they will go on to some other realm, it's probably more of a nebulous place than a physical hell, lake, fire, everything.
I don't even believe we have souls
Yeah.
necessarily. I'd like to see some evidence
Like,
before I
I
believe
barely
something like that.
believe that we're even conscious. Like, I'm about to have an existential crisis up here.
I think the historical Christian position is that the gift of the invitation that God gives to the people that He made is so
So-
generous and came at such a high price to
A high
Him
price that gave up
That's,
a weekend.
that
He gave up a weekend.
right,
He was God before.
yeah.
He was God during, and He's God now. He gave up a weekend. If I knew right now that I could go off and die and then not die, how was the gift in that? Number one.
I'm able to look at the grace that has been extended to me,
Grace.
and I receive it.
I want to make sure I can get a
Yes.
full set to Sean.
Okay, so the way that I would commonly think of it is that if I gave up the life of my own son in exchange for your life, that it is okay then for me to make the invitation that God makes towards us.
Is that moral?
Is it moral?
Is it moral? On a corporeal level.
Jesus took on the penalty that I deserved for the sins that I committed, if we're looking at, the traditional Christian faith. And so I receive His gift of grace and as a payment for the things that I had done. So your question, is it moral or is it just? Is it fair? I'm able as a Christian to say, no, it's not fair, because I deserve the punishment that He took on Himself. Faith to me is everything. We grew up in a household of faith and learned to love Jesus and love the church and serve the church from the family that I grew up in. And so my wife and I have embraced that same life of faith, and we have taught the Christian faith to our children.
Fools!
Understand themselves and their world because of Him and His
And his hate?
I believe there is a higher purpose in life.
I mean,
Yeah, I think I
What do you
strongly
mean
believe
by
that
higher
is
purpose?
life. I don't think I found it yet, and I hope and I would like to believe that I will one day in the journey of my life.
I completely agree. I don't know what my purpose is, and I don't think there's like a higher purpose that fits for everybody. But to me, the idea that there's some bigger purpose has always been very comforting to me. Otherwise, kind of what's the point of all of this?
No, I fully agree. I think that I believe it's a question that we all ask, and it's one of the gifts of faith, in my opinion, so that when there's
Fuck
times
you,
of
mean.
epidemic and war,
Pandemic.
pandemic, you're right. It's a better
Worldwide.
that we're able to understand, even in those situations of difficulty and conflict and anxiety and fear, that there is a higher purpose in life, and that
No.
there's more than what we see.
No. There is more than what we see, but
I
it's
trouble
not.
with the phraseology higher
deity,
purpose,
like.
because again, that denotes, do I believe God? No, but I do believe higher purpose.
For the record, I love the way this dude is dressed.
Love, to give, to be generous, to be kind, to help, to heal, to be there to understand.
The phrase higher purposes, it's a loaded phrase.
I
Yeah.
struggle with higher purpose because it's like God said,
I choose you.
yeah, I choose you, and you are going to do this thing, and you're going to continue doing this thing for the rest of your life. And I really struggle with that.
Can I just
Yeah.
ask, and I mean this because I
Yeah, you
received
can't
your
offend
statement
me.
with that.
You literally cannot offend me. What's up?
Well, is that very- Just curiosity, what if everyone was committed to this idea that like in the way that you expressed it? So I would say some people that are sort of pro-religion, like I am, would say that in order for us to bind together as a culture and learn to kind of work together and help cause one another to flourish, we have to agree on some kind of higher purpose or a common set of principles.
I disagree. I don't really see a need for having a prescriptive purpose.
See, that's where like I disagree with her, because like I feel like when they say a higher purpose, they're talking about religious shit, right? You know what I'm saying? I feel like when I hear higher purpose, it's just you're fighting for something or you believe in something that is bigger than yourself. It doesn't necessarily have to be like religious, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're fighting for equality or if you're fighting for, freedom or rights or liberty and shit, you know what I'm saying, democracy, if you're fighting for that, that's something bigger than the rest of us, you know what I'm saying? So that is essentially a higher purpose. But I think they're just equating it simply to, religious shit. Because I feel like, you would need like a higher purpose that a lot of us would, that a large consensus of us would agree to. You know what I'm saying? For instance, if we want to do away with capitalism and start trying to go more towards a more socialist society, then we would need a lot of people on the ground, regular people, organizing around that common idea to try to defeat capitalism and install socialism, or at least try to install more socialist policies within this capitalist system as best we can, which, it can be done, but I just feel like we're too far gone. We just need to get rid of it and just go to socialism. But much love to the UK, homie. All right, back to the video.
Struggling to even see what you see as the value in saying that you have a higher purpose.
Maybe it's more of a fear or a concern, right? That if everyone got up every day and said that life is all about me, and that's what, and I'm not suggesting at all that that's what you're saying about.
It kind of is.
It is my belief, I don't mean to interrupt either of you, it is my belief that one should take care of oneself.
Yeah.
Because nobody else will. People who do take care of themselves, they understand that it is balanced, and they're not going to go out and cause anarchy and mayhem in the streets.
It can even be like a selfish act to be helping the community around you. And it's still a good thing. It's still important. It doesn't take a higher purpose to make that kind of thing happen. I was going to school with the intention to become an ordained minister in the Pentecostal church. One of the things there is you read the Bible a lot every day, all day. And after doing that for like several hours a day and reading the Bible through back to back several times and discussing it, I wasn't sold at all. I guess I style myself more as a skeptic and a humanist than anything, and Satanism just happens to fit really nicely in that category for me. And this is actually also kind of like my outing video. Like, my family doesn't know I'm a member of TST. They don't know I'm a Satanist.
I feel like, it took me a minute to tell my mom, I ain't gonna lie, like when I became a Satanist, like at first I didn't want to tell her, but then I was like, like this is kind of a big part of who I am now, so I gotta tell her, you know what I mean? So I told her, so I can understand that point, you know what I'm saying? I also understand like how he grew up as a Christian, so he's not a Satanist who never tried Christianity, because I feel like the majority of Satanists started off in one of the Abrahamic religions before they decided fuck this bullshit and adopted Satanism. You know what I'm saying? So that's my personal opinion. Because I was a Jehovah's Witness. I ain't gonna lie. I was a Jehovah's Witness. My mom was a Jehovah's Witness. My grandma was a Jehovah's Witness. My aunt, my cousins. Like, that's what we grew up on. You know what I'm saying? Which teaches a lot of the same shit that other Christian religions teach. You know what I'm saying? With a few differences. You know what I'm saying? But overall, it's still believing in something that doesn't exist and just attaching good shit to that and negative shit to that. Like, get the fuck out of here, bruh. Like, how about it's capitalism? I feel like the problems we all face in an industrialized society is the grip that capitalism has over said society. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm gonna get back to the video though.
I believe in good and evil.
So on good and evil, before I let them answer it, I feel like you can do good. I feel like good religion specifically gives good people an excuse to do evil things. You know what I'm saying? But then too, I could say that really about most organizations whose whole, like, I guess if you will, business model or modus operandi, their whole model is like demonizing someone else. You know what I'm saying? Oh, gays are fucked up, or the LGBTQ community in general is fucked up, or or these austerity preachers who, you know what I'm saying, where it's like, oh, it's all right to get rich. You know what I'm saying? God's cool with it. God's cool with you having all the money. You know what I'm saying? While you pay your workers minimum wage, like God's cool with that. God himself is a capitalist. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. The fuck out of here. But anyway, so no, I feel like good people can do fucked up shit. Just like fucked up people can at times do good shit. It just depends on which more defines you. And I would only say that the way to determine that is by which do you do more often. If more people feel like you're an asshole and all you do is fuck over people, and there's that one time you helped that lady across the street or whatever the fuck, you know, whatever you did nice, that's going to be completely overshadowed by your reputation of being a dick. But then there's also people who have reputations of being a saint or just fucking, you know what I mean? Like just, oh God, they're fucking, they can do no harm and shit, who do regular, horrible, evil shit on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like there is good and evil. Like nobody is completely good. Just like nobody is completely evil. Like evil people will do nice things. Just like nice people will do evil things. Like not saying the majority of them, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying like, and I don't care which serial killer you point out in history, not nan one of them, in my opinion, is completely evil and completely irredeemable. You know what I'm saying? Now they may, well, maybe irredeemable, sure, but completely evil? Nah, son. Nobody was born that way. Anyway, back to the show.
I have it as part of my own belief system for sure, a conviction that all of our hearts can at sometimes lead us to do acts of evil, and so I see it in the world around me on both sides.
Yeah, I think the phrasing is something that's what it's a little bit catchy. I believe in right and wrong, and I think some things for me, a lot of things lie in the gray area, but there are some things that I consider right and wrong. But I wouldn't say it's the same as being evil. Right?
That was beautifully said.
See, well, right and wrong, I feel like there are some universally accepted rights and wrongs, but then there's those rights and wrongs that are associated with religions. You know what I'm saying? So is it wrong to deny somebody civil rights? You would probably say, yeah, you shouldn't deny anyone civil rights. Like that would be uncivilized. I'm like, all right, well then, is it all right for gay people to marry each other? And if you're like, no, that's wrong. I'm like, well then, you're only saying that because your religion is telling you it's wrong. But if two people love each other, what the fuck difference does it make? I mean, marriage is just a fucking concept, a social construction that we developed anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so what fucking difference does it make if they want to participate in this bullshit we concocted? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't fucking get that. But anyway, my point being that there's universally accepted rights and wrongs, I believe, depending on the society. And then there's things that are just right and wrong because there's something specific that you believe in that says something that is normally innocuous is wrong. So, or right, for that matter. Thank you. Man.
But yeah, no, I agree with.
You said that Hindu. All right, I took his thank you, but you was talking about dude on the screen. I get it. All right, yeah.
I also believe that what is right and wrong has changed throughout history, and it's something where I don't know if everyday actions that I do right now are going to be considered evil later on. Like, is driving a car going to be considered wrong?
I don't believe in an evil entity who is pitchfork and horns and looking like me with a goatee. That doesn't actually happen. If you ask anybody throughout history, they're always the hero of their own novel.
Mm-hmm. Even yesterday, I went to the grocery store and there was one person who had like more than 10 packs of toilet paper. And I do understand that
toilet paper is not going to save you.
Yeah, I do understand that he's being cautious and watching out for himself and his family. I just think the act of doing that is wrong because there were so many people who couldn't buy toilet paper.
But to him, that was right.
But
because he was looking out for his family, probably.
Yeah, so like I'm saying that I think the act is wrong, but I wouldn't say that he's evil. Like, unless he has IBS or something, I don't know. Right, what's Some of the core beliefs of Hinduism is to believe in dharma, making sure that you have enough for yourself and also enough for other people. But Satan in Hinduism is like an assistant to God, someone who can cause disruption, but that is more for the benefit of human beings by and large.
So in Hinduism, Satan ain't even looked at as a negative thing for real. Like, he's just there to serve his purpose. He has a role to fulfill, and he does that thing. And overall, for the betterment of that society. Like, that's how Hinduism, apparently, you know what I'm saying, thinks about or regards Satan. My thing is, if your motherfucking ass was born in fucking wherever the fuck she practiced Hindu, goddammit, you would think the same shit. You wouldn't be on this motherfucking Jesus God bullshit. You would be on this Hindu ass shit because that's where you was born. But by virtue of you being born here in America, where Christianity is the dominant fucking ideology, you believe that. You believe God is God and Satan is evil and Jesus was the best and all that bullshit. Like, but that's only because you was born here, motherfucker. Your ass was born in fucking India, you wouldn't be on that shit. If you was born in fucking Saudi Arabia or goddamn, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you was born over there, you would not be on this God bullshit. You will make up the minority of people who are Christians. And what are the odds that you will be that? Like, that would be the equivalent of being like Muslim here or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, you ain't of the majority religion here, goddammit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you don't get no play. You know, but over there, Muslim is where it's at. You know what I mean? Like, you will be on that shit. You will be Nation of Islam like a motherfucker. That's where you was born, goddammit. So let's just come off of our high horses thinking that, oh no, Jesus is the way. No, it's only the way because you American, motherfucker. If you was over there would be no fucking mention of Jesus. Fuck is you talking about? There's God, Krishna, or whomever, and then there's the devil. There's Satan, who performs his role as he's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? But there's no fucking son of God that came and fucking killed himself. Because that's what, I mean, you knew that's what was going to happen. That was your purpose. You know what I'm saying? So you went down there, did a murder-suicide, you know what I'm saying, by fucking suicide by Romans or whatever the fuck. Got nailed fucking to the fucking shit, your dumb ass. You know what I'm saying? Only to get reborn, like you knew you wasn't gonna be dead long. Motherfucker, get the fuck out of here. What did you really give up there? Like, what did you really sacrifice for the, you know, taking the sins of those? Motherfucker, if I could die right now, talking about, yeah, all your sins are forgiven, knowing I can be just reborn in 3 days, get the fuck out of here. I do that shit all the time. Yeah, praise me, motherfucker. Yeah, you're right. I did that shit for you and your grandkids and everybody else from here forward, goddammit. Just know that. Unless you weren't born in America, in which case I probably only did it for maybe 2% of the population from where you're at. But yeah, get the fuck out of here. Like, anyway, back to the video.
I believe
Satan is evil. Hell no. You do if you Christian, yeah. Step forward, you fake ass fucking. The fuck? Of course you think so. Your bitch ass. Fuck you. Satan is the shit. How about that?
Why did you stop?
I was trying to play it out in my head, but then I realized I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Well, the fact that there is a Satan who is real and the fact that he is evil is, I mean, it's an important, pretty central belief that we hold in the Christian faith, and that there is a good and loving God and a Satan who is evil.
So let's go back to Genesis, okay? God wanted to keep humans from eating the fruit of knowledge, correct? And Satan, or the serpent, wanted to give humans that knowledge. I believe that's a good action.
That is a good action.
That's a good action. That's justifiable.
The first person to advocate for equal rights.
Yes. We only heard God's perspective, and from my perspective, I mean, just looking into the Bible, it's like we didn't hear Satan's perspective. Maybe he said, God is a tyrannical God, and I'm going to rebel from him, and I'm going to become a fallen angel to help mankind.
My interpretation and understanding of that story is that God created an environment where it was an environment of love and peace, and where his children that he created and whom he loved, who he created in his image.
They were naked and they didn't have understanding.
Yeah, and that this was an environment for them to.
So, wait, I gotta hear his whole point.
to flourish. And so he puts them in this environment, and he desires for them to flourish and to live in unashamed relationship with him and his perfection and his glory
Naked and stupid.
I see God making simple playthings because he's bored, if it's real then, and then saying, don't do this because I don't want you on my level. And if you do, I have to make sure you can't live forever so you really don't get on my level.
Would you think that if you heard that one of your friends was having a baby and you'd say, oh, you're just making a plaything for your...
That's different. That's different.
That's different, you fucking asshole. That's not the same. I don't expect my child to serve me and do exactly as I say for the rest of their entire lives. And if not, they will be fucking brutally fucking savaged and ravaged.
I think Satan is a symbol of freedom.
What? How is that a comparison?
That is not evil.
You see how unrealistic and irrational Christians are? Like, how is that a comparison? How is that even the fucking same? Like, motherfucker, I have to look after my child and make sure that they eat and get education and have water and go to school. Like, because the state demands that I do that. Like, they demand that if you have a child in your custody, there's certain things you're required to provide for that child.
Satan represents
God doesn't provide shit. Like, you could be born here, you could accept God in your life and still be fucking poor, homeless, and starving. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, no.
Sometimes worse than those around, but an animal nonetheless.
Religion has caused more harm than good.
Amen to that shit. That's a fact that religion has caused more harm than good. That's a fact. That's a fact. You know it has.
Religion has caused a lot of harm. Is it the ultimate source of evil? No. Ultimately, people make their own decisions, but we talk about crusades and witch trials and the God hates fags and the snake handlers and the hypocrites,
Persecution of science.
the subjection of science, the arts.
I mean, I don't know that there's been a major war that hasn't been at least fueled by religion, if not directly started by it. Some of them were just political things, but they were always as a religious backing at some point that like flared the fire up and made it so much worse than it would have been.
And they vote.
I think religion dictates moral values for a lot of people, and the way people interpret religion has caused harm. But religion itself would can never cause any harm. It is meant for the good of society, for the good of people.
I mean, you could say that,
Oh, but let her finish.
but again,
And like I said, the way
religion is concocted, it's man-made,
It's probably the way people have
and therefore it can be used,
tell others the way they
you know,
practice some
however you want to use it.
There is harm in religion done in the name of religion, but it's hard to quantify on a cost benefit analysis kind of way which is worse, having religion or not having religion. Religion is a form of power, it is a tool, and it reveals
Right.
the worst in humanity and it reveals the best of humanity. And you can do a lot in the name of religion, but you can also do a lot of good in the name of religion.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think
So what's up with you, homie? How you doing, Gary? I see you, Mike Payne, Daniel.
Either the Bible or their own conviction to express authority over other people in a way that doesn't lead to their flourishing. I think we're in agreement on that. As a member of the Christian church, I would say that there have been great contributions of people of faith to the cause of human flourishing and through medicine and healthcare and all.
The fact is, I feel like the good that certain people in society historically have produced for society in general, or for the world in general, they would have done that anyway. Like, I don't think you needed the facade of a god or facade of religion or some shit in order to accomplish what you did. Maybe you needed that to motivate you or some shit, but I just feel like you already had that in you. Like Mother Teresa, for instance. Like you were just that kind of person. Like, you didn't really need the religion. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the religion you use because, you can use its power and authority, to like maybe get you, I don't know, access to shit or whatever the fuck, or to finance shit that you may not have otherwise been able to finance. And so whatever. But I just feel like good people will do good things, and you don't need religion to justify it. Like, I do good shit all the time. All the time. I don't look for thank yous. I don't look for money. I don't look for anything in return. I just do it because it feels good, A. And I do it because I want to be the change I want to see in the world. If I want to see less litter in the street, then I should not litter. So I don't litter. That's not a big deal, but considering where I live and where I come from, that's sort of a big deal. Everybody here just fucking doesn't seem to give a shit and just throws whatever on the fucking street or out their windows or whatever the fuck, out their car windows or whatever the fuck. And I'm just randomly all the time, no matter where I'm at, just picking up random trash, like, because I wish others would do that. So since I wish others would do it, then I do it. You know what I'm saying? And like, I do good shit out in the world because I wish other people would just randomly do nice things for other people on a random basis without looking for anything in return. I'm like, you be the change you want to see. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and that's where it starts. I mean, to even go back to like Michael Jackson, you know what I'm saying? The man in the mirror. It's like, yeah, be the change you want to see. And it starts with you. You change. And then other people perhaps will notice your change, be inspired by that change, and perhaps change themselves. You know, who knows? But it's like, but you gotta do it. You can't expect anyone else to change. You gotta do it for yourself. But regardless, you don't need a God in order to do that. Like, you don't have to believe in some invisible being in order to be a decent fucking person. Like, we all know the golden rule. Like, the golden rule for me personally isn't even associated with religion. It should be. Like, it should be just like, if every religion that exists doesn't adopt the golden rule, then you're full of shit. Like, period. You know? And for me, there's nothing more unchristian, more godless, more soulless, more evil than capitalism. Because straight up, the whole nature of capitalism is exploitation of labor. Would you be all right having your labor exploited for crumbs, for pennies, barely getting by and shit? Would you like that? Because if the answer is yes, oh, well then fuck it. You love capitalism. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, sure. I mean, I don't mind having my labor exploited, and I can't wait to get in a position to exploit someone else's labor. You know what I'm saying? Well, then you'll love it then. But if you ain't fucking cool with that, well, then you hate capitalism, because capitalism's whole nature is exploitation of labor. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's godless. Because for me, again, your religion isn't shit if the golden rule doesn't apply to the fundamentals of your religion. You know what I'm saying? Or your organization. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Do to other people what you would have other people do to you. You know, put out there what you'd like to see put out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you wouldn't want your labor exploited, if you hate the condition you're in, you feel like you're overworked, underpaid, well, that's a fact. Statistically speaking, you are overworked, you are underpaid. And if you really start to feel the brunt weight of that, well, that's because you're being fucking exploited. That's capitalism putting its fucking knee on your fucking neck. You know what I'm saying? You gotta flip that shit, man. We gotta be the ones in power. And the only way to do that is through socialism or socialist policies, which says that we, the workers, have the power. We're the ones who decide what our salary will be. We will decide who the management will be, who the owners will be, and everyone will be paid according to their input. Period. But we will all be paid a livable salary to start. Period. And then we'll go from there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the foundation right there of a workplace socialist society. Like, you get paid based on what you bring to the table. If you're a fucking welder, then of course you're gonna get paid more than a fucking in the door, I don't know how to do nothing motherfucker. But that motherfucker's still gonna get a livable wage. You're just going to get more than him because you have a skill that you provide that's of more significance than his general labor ability. You know what I mean? And same thing with seniority or tenure. Like, oh, I've been here 20 years. Why should I get the same pay as that motherfucker who just came in yesterday? Of course, you will be compensated because you have knowledge and, you know, that you offer that can't be like you can't really teach what you know, what you bring to the table. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you acquired what you know through wisdom and experience in the years or time that you've invested in that company. I'm like, so of course you're gonna get paid more than someone who just came in off the fucking street. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, socialism works socially. It's a more social involvement, not a capitalist, where a capitalist is just all about one fucking person or a few people who got all the money, all the power, and they just say, fuck the rest of us, where it could be us at the top with all the motherfucking power, making sure that everything is done according to people's input. So if all you do is sit there in your fucking office all day and collect dividends off the profits, you ain't getting shit. Matter of fact, we might vote you the fuck out, actually, because you don't provide anything. You don't do anything, you know. So that's what I'm talking about. That's what socialism is about as far as the workplace is concerned. We don't want your fucking car, your house, your toothpaste, your brush. It's not about taking your personal property. It's about taking private property, which is considered, and the only thing that we're talking about when we say private property is one thing only. Private property is the means of production. So there's no longer one person, Jeff Bezos or whatever, who owns all the robots, all the machines, all the forklifts, all the vests and the little handheld scanning devices and the carts and all that shit. It's no longer he owns that. We who work here own that. That's the means of production. That's what we would now own and not the company. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. We don't give a fuck about your car and your fucking bullshit Megadeth shirt. Get the fuck out of here. That's not what socialism's about. You keep that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's all about when we go to work, whatever the mechanisms are that help us produce what we do every day, will no longer be owned by one person or a few shareholders. It'll be owned by us who work for that company, who are unionized at that company. We'll own it. So that's why you wouldn't want that is beyond me. Like, I don't get that. Yeah, like, I don't get who would not want that shit. And people who look negatively upon socialism you ain't read nothing, clearly. Like, you haven't read anything. No books. No actual historical record of any country that was socialist or claimed to be socialist at least, but then turned around and did non-socialist shit, you know what I'm saying? Or where socialism was working just fine, but America came and was like, fuck that, motherfucker. Like, hell no. We need you exploiting motherfuckers' labor. We need profits. We need to get rich. And motherfuckers need to get poor then. Like, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You're just gonna have to get poor because we need to get richer. Because that's what we do here in America. I'm like, so fuck your little helping everybody out in the country. Fuck that. Adopt capitalism. So whoever's in charge here, who in charge? Who was the democratically elected president, head of state here? Who is that? We're gonna have that motherfucker murdered, cooed like a motherfucker, and then we're gonna install someone who's all like, yeah, capitalism, America, woohoo! We're gonna put that motherfucker in charge. You guys can suck a dick. Like, that's America's position pretty much everywhere. Like, so I don't know what to tell you. Like, if there's any evil in the world, you don't have to. Satan is America. How about that? Satan is capitalism. That's the fucking devil if you want to look at it that way. That's the most evil, vile, corrupt, bloodthirsty, savage of a fucking, where just so many people, you know, homelessness, starvation. Like, we won't fix the gun shit. We don't give a fuck. Because capitalism doesn't care. The nature of capitalism does not give a fuck. How many children get slaughtered at school? They doesn't give a fuck. Sell more guns. Sell more bullets. Sell more fucking ammunition. Whatever it is. But we don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck how many children die in this country. It does not fucking matter. If Sandy Hook didn't do it for you, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's a done deal. Like, that let you do, yeah. A motherfucker going to an elementary school and slaughter children, not even 3 feet tall, you know what I'm saying? And we still was like, nah, bruh, don't touch our guns. Fuck that, I need an AR-15. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, we don't give a fuck? Because capitalism was like, yeah, you do need more AR-15s actually, you do, and M16s, and whatever else we can find, Bushmasters and shot and sawed and whatever. Just here, goddammit. You know, you need anti-tank rounds and AT-4s and what else do you need? Grenades? You know, like we don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Capitalism doesn't care. It's all about profits. Profits. That's all it cares about. It doesn't matter who you have to enslave. It doesn't care how many people you have to underpay or how many people's benefits you won't offer. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter how many people starve, go homeless. If you're not paying for it, you can't have it. I don't care how inhumane that may be, but I need to get paid, says capitalism. And that's all capitalism cares about, you know. So this is just, we're fucked here, dude. But socialism actually cares about motherfuckers. Socialism actually cares, that ideology cares about regular human beings. It's not all about money. It's not all about profits and short-term gains for a few people who don't then disperse any of that money to help the rest of us. You know, it's not about that. Look, it's anyway, I'm getting off topic. This video is not about socialism. It was about Satanism and other world religions. Let's get back to that.
And education and all those kinds of things. So.
I wouldn't go about for the arts and medicine.
Yeah.
For the arts, yeah, not for the
Well,
medicine.
for the arts.
For the arts, yes.
Christian
Yes.
art is amazing.
Beautiful artwork. Beautiful
Cathedrals are
artwork.
amazing.
Cathedrals artists were not Christian. They were
I
just
don't
hired.
care if they
Then
were
you
hired by the
preach it
church.
with
I love it. I love Saint Sebastian portraits. I love all
Some of the choral music is beautiful.
All of
The
it.
tradition is sometimes beautiful. There's beautiful things in it, and it can help calm someone if that is what they need. I do believe that people do need rituals. I myself have rituals.
But I mean, I think has given a lot of people some kind of peace of mind. And I think like even if necessarily like, again, I think I guess what to you, like someone believing in God, like, well, that's just not true. Why would you do that? I guess to me, believing in God, I don't think, and I've never ever imposed my religion on anyone around me. I use it as something that's like a personal relationship between me and God. And it just
Well, then you're not American. Because in America, we impose our religion on other motherfuckers. It's all bless you, have a blessed day, I'm blessed, you know, God bless Jesus, yes Lord, and all that bullshit. We gotta constantly be inundated with Christian bullshit all day.
Religion, it's never something I've tried to hide.
Fuck
I
outta
think it's
here,
like
you
if
know what I'm
someone
saying?
Have a conversation with me, not in an overbearing way, but it would be something.
But as soon as Satanists do it, we're looked at as crazy. We're looked at as like, oh, why you gotta rub it all in our face? You the motherfucker with the chain, though. You the one, oh, have a blessed day. You the one rubbing it in our face. Fuck you, me.
I'm a great person.
I really think good and bad is objective because does everyone love me? No. There are people who absolutely wish me dead, and that's okay.
And the only people who would absolutely wish this man dead when he has caused no harm to anyone are Christians, because he doesn't think like they do. And he thinks as passionately about his belief as they believe about theirs, and that's why they hate him so much and want him dead.
It's that constantly.
Not to mention he's also a homosexual, so that's just doubly wrong to Christians. But yet, he never said he wanted them dead.
You can do it every single day.
Completely.
No, I do believe that being good is in these minute, like little actions, these micro actions that you do every single day.
I'm a big
To be fair, he never said it was Christians either, but who the fuck else would it be?
Intention is really important.
It is. Because sometimes you do something thinking that it's going to be a good thing, but it turns out to be disastrous. But as long as you had a good intention in it, I feel like it's
Like
not.
to a certain extent.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
How many people do good things because they think that's what people expect good things to be?
Yeah, and for me, I would just hope that my faith would be borne out in acts of kindness and mercy and compassion and charity. And I know that doesn't necessarily come from me, but I
You
would
say
like
that,
to-
but as soon as that person's gay, you're like, I mean, I'll give you respect, kindness, and compassion up to a
You're a
point.
good person because you're a good person.
But if that means like allowing you to have the same rights as the rest of us, well, hell, that's where I draw the line. Well, you can go fuck yourself, because you're coming from a position of privilege, you
I think it's
asshole.
good in everybody. Maybe sometimes it's deep within, but I do think that at their core, everybody is a good person.
Lois, why are you a Satanist?
Well, I'm a Satanist because I originally started out as an atheist, but I wanted to find more ways to do advocacy work within a separation of church and state. And also, I think Satan is pretty cool. Satan is kind of a daddy. So here I am today.
Ow!
Talking about Satan.
Hail Satan.
I respect all religions.
I don't necessarily respect any religion, but I respect as an American your right to believe and serve whatever you want.
And you're doing.
But do I respect that thing? Not so much. But I do respect your right to believe and worship as you choose.
I mean, I'm saying I respect all religions in the sense of the ones that I know of. I guess like,
Yeah.
there's some obscure thing that I'm not aware of that really does stand for horrible things I don't agree with. My answer will
Yeah.
change.
I think what everyone's
I don't believe in Christianity, what the fuck soever. But if that's what you want to believe, if that's what you want to worship, you know what I'm saying? You want to believe in God and all that shit, you go right ahead.
I have committed my life and
Because that is the American way.
to a religion that believes that
Believe what the fuck you wanna
is the
believe.
right and the only way, you know.
Freely,
I also believe
without
I
oppression.
respect people and love people and believe.
But not
in
necessarily
people's
free from
freedom to,
criticism, but oppression for
choose.
sure.
Even in Islam, in the Quran, we have this one chapter. What it talks about is the respecting of other people's religions. Like your religion is for you, and my religion is for me, and like my religion is mine, and your religion is yours. And, like
Thank
that's
you.
Okay, in a sense, we're separate from each other, but still preaching that
But
respect.
certain countries have laws that are influenced by certain religions when that should not be the case, especially when we espouse the notion of the separation of church and state, which is obviously bullshit to the right-wing conservatives.
But then internally, you're saying, Allah is the only God. Jesus is not God. Vishnu, Krishna, these are gods. These are deities. Jesus Christ is the only way. He is the answer. He is the only one. I'm right. You're all wrong, but I'm going to be nice about it.
I think that there's a difference between believing that somebody else's religion is wrong and respecting it. I feel like you can have respect and still disagree, and that's where I'm kind of coming from. And
I think you all are answering the question incorrectly.
But of course, everybody just
Because the correct answer, I feel, is the one I just gave, whereas as Americans in a free society, in a secular society, you can believe and worship as you choose. You know what I'm saying? Without freedom, without persecution or, or any state's ability to like impede your ability to practice your religion. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you respect. I respect the law. I respect the Constitution that says you can think, you can worship as you believe, as you choose. You are free to believe and worship any god of whatever religion. That's what we believe. So I respect your right to do that. And I respect you as a person. So I'm not going to be rude or disrespectful about your religion if we're not talking about religion. But if you start bringing it up, then I might have to challenge it because I don't believe the premise of, whatever your statement is, like, oh, well, of course, creation or God said or whatever. It's like, well, see, I don't agree with any of that, so that's where we'll have a disagreement. But you can still respectfully disagree, even. You know what I mean? But Christians don't seem to ever be able to just disagree. Like, they have to let you know that they're right and you're wrong. Even though, like, we're not coming from the same place. You're coming from a place of irrationality because you believe in fairy tales and ghosts. Whereas I'm coming from a place of science and practicality where I believe in facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we can't, you know what I mean? Like, so in this case, I would imagine we were both right and both wrong, depending on your perspective. So there's that.
on their religious
Like,
beliefs.
I think we all disagree with
Yeah.
each other to a certain extent.
But we can all live in harmony and we can.
And respect the other person's views.
Yeah.
The core of my religion is love.
Kind of mostly. I mean,
You could say that, but I feel like the core of the Satanic Temple
I don't
is
really
activism.
follow a
But you do
specific
activism out
organized
of,
religion,
for
but
I
do
guess.
believe that at my core,
I guess you
my
could,
belief system
you
is
can attach
for
love to
everybody
activism.
and respect.
You love the people that for whom you are an activist.
To have compassion and empathy for all living
You know,
creatures
but
within a reasonable understanding.
It
of
could just be
you
like,
have
nah,
yourself too.
this is what the law is, and you're not respecting that law, and I'm advocating
Preach self-respect.
for the
preach
people
respect your body, respect
Who
your
that
body,
law
respect your public space, your
disproportionately
respect
is
your-
affected
and love
negatively.
all.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm advocating for a new law or the abolishment of that law. You know what I'm saying? Like that's activism, and it's not
Did you
necessarily because I love this motherfucker. It's like, nah, I'm doing it because that's the right thing to do. Like,
For me, honestly, it was more.
You know what I
that
mean?
I didn't know what to expect only because I know a bit more about Christianity. I know a bit more about Hinduism. Just learning.
and I don't
about
need
it
God to
and
tell me
learning
that that's the right thing to do.
Not
You
to
just
interrupt.
inherently know
We
when
three
you see someone
identify
being
as
mistreated for
three
no other
also
reason
We're
than
very
something that they can't
Of
help.
course, and I think that's why for me.
Then
I
that's
really
wrong.
came in with many expectations.
Period.
I was just
And
looking-
anything that you
and
believe that's telling you otherwise, maybe you should reassess what you believe. Like, that's bullshit.
Good people and live good, happy lives and preach love in some way or another. Not, I don't mean preach in a religious sense. I just mean like be loving people. I think we all want similar things just for different reasons.
Satanism is a newer religion. I mean, the Satanic Temple, obviously extremely new.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Church of Satan, as run by Anton LaVey, very new.
Aleister Crowley still within the last.
Pretty new too. I mean, obviously, there's been occultism throughout the world for ages and ages and ages, but we have the benefit of coming in with these progressive ideologies and being able to form a new idea of what is acceptable.
In light of the coronavirus, we aren't doing handshakes or hugs or anything like that, but in your own way, express affection to each other as a group.
Thank you.
Oh yes, that was a good one. That's a very good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Fuck yeah, it's a good one. Anyway, enough of that. I did all the shits. Jolly. Jolly. Now I'm about to get this off of here though. I just wanted to react, I guess you could say, to that video with y'all. Oh, let me fucking. So I'm gonna go. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry for like this shitty ass quality.